I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I would ask council if there are any conflicts of interest on tonight's agenda. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Schuyler, second by Hughes to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, any discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Item number E. I look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Schuyler, second by
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that second.
Miners. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. At this time, our meeting will be open to a 10-minute window for public input. If anybody would like to come to the podium. Seeing nobody, we'll ask the financial officer to tell us all our new hires.
Mr. Mayor, there's one new hire in the Corrections Department. Corrections officer named Isabella Gilpin. She started last Friday, November 1. Her salary is to be determined by action here in front of this council tonight.
Thank you very much. Item number G, Department Reports, Public Works Director Troy Kruger, fresh off of holiday.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I'll start with water and sewer. For the last 2 weeks, repaired the sewer service at 745 Coolidge Street, repaired the water service at 510 Lamro. West lift station repairs were needed. Cleanup week, water shut off at 926 West First Street. Mowed at the well fields and the well roads in anticipation of winter snow. Vectored pits at the recycling building and the airport restrooms. Started the boiler for the city building, the building that we're sitting in. Replaced fire hydrant on the corner of West 11th Street and East Park Street and locates. Parks and Cemetery, they finished blowing out sprinklers, winterizing the bathrooms and concessions, all that good stuff. Funerals, started doing some of the Bailey complex upgrades, winterizing equipment, and fall fertilizing. Light Department finished trenching in conduit on the east side of the MSC properties, which is the very east parking lot of the hospital. They obtained an easement there to go underground, and they trenched that in. Pulled wire, set boxes, dirt were terminated overhead in several locations, 3 cutovers in the same area. We cut over winter superfoods last week, 2 planned outages last week, one for superfoods and the other one was for the other end. Dirt work in the area of Roosevelt 9th and 7th at Truman, just pretty much tidying up all their trenching this summer. Cleaned up their trucks in the shop, some locates. Streets and sanitation, we finished cleanup work. They've been in the alleyways doing some work, trying to get those alleyways kind of worked up before winter here. We have about 6 or 7 spruce up homes, I believe, that we're going to try and get tore down here in the next couple of weeks. So we've been out to landfill making room for those. Bladed the dump road, ran sweepers. Our 2024 mill and overlay project is done, and working on the new berry pit. I have been meeting with my supervisors a couple times last week, and we just met this morning. So we're working on the end of the year, looking at everybody's budget and seeing where they're at for the year. So we've projected out personal services, any payments that they have, utilities and all that good stuff, so we can kind of see what they have to work with for to get through the end of the year. I have a round of my committees all meet next week, so we'll sit down with council, show you those numbers, and then get some ideas on where we want to go with the end of the year budget, what's left in the budgets. We had an insurance inspection today, all buildings for the city, and we're throwing an equipment inventory surplus list together. Hopefully get some equipment surplus by the end of the year. Any questions?
Yes. In your estimation, Troy, what percent of the entire city is underground at this time? Can you give me a rough number?
20?
20? Okay, thank you.
Chip seal, is that complete for the year?
Say that again?
Chip seal?
Yep.
Is that completed?
Yep.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Troy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'd ask Public Safety Director Rich Miller for his report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I handed out two different attachments, I guess. The first one we will address is the Communication Center, or the PSAP. You can see from October 1 through October 31, we received around 4,000 different dispatch calls. And of that, about 854 of them were actual 911 calls. You can flip through. I'm not going to make notice of anything other than the 2,096 calls that were handled. You can see how they were attached with the printout there. The third page, Mr. Mayor and Council, is the Winter Police Department call for service volumes. This is for information purpose as well. So for 432 call for services. Real quickly, the last page.
Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to note that roughly
Pardon?
20, I'd like to question or make a note that roughly 25% of the calls, all calls are related to Winter Police Department. Is that roughly correct?
That is roughly correct, sir. It's a good question. It's a good question. So the last page, information, Chief Dvorak wanted me to remind the public that Feeding South Dakota now is the first Monday of every month. They must have had it today, and they did not have a very strong turnout. So he just wanted me to reiterate that it's the first Monday of the month. He has an officer that is getting real close to being certified through LET in Pierre. November 22nd is the date for certification for that officer. Number 3 and 4 deal with the vehicle that you have allowed him to purchase. I guess we'll do number 4 first. We're going to be putting some equipment in it in the next month or two so we can use up the budget from 2024 on that and get it ready to roll hopefully by the first of the year.
Is that car here?
It is here, yes. They went last week Friday, actually, Mr. Clint, to pick it up, like a 15 or 16 hour day for them to drive down there and drive back, and they made it safely, so it's here.
What color is it?
Black.
Solid.
Black solid, yeah. And then the 2014, that's that silver slug as they call it. That is the car that is going to be transferred to Dan in code enforcement. That will be stripped of its entirety. The placards will be taken off, and probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we will make that transition for code enforcement to have that vehicle. So we are finished with that. Are there any questions on this report before I briefly address the next little topic? So,
Mitch, actually, it might be for Paul. With the change from department to department, does that go through inventory to code enforcement from the police?
It will be changed to inventory wise, yes.
Mr. Schuyler, that answers your question?
Yep.
Okay. Seeing no further other questions, I'll just real briefly explain the other sheet of paper that I handed out to you. We are going to be entering into a memorandum of understanding with this said department here. We do not need your approval to do so. This is just us communicating with you that we are entering into an agreement with this agency, basically to allow them to run criminal background checks through our dispatch center. You can read through the certainties of it. We did receive the blessing of the state to do this, and henceforth, I'm just letting you know that that's what we are doing, so. Okay?
This is over and above their jail contract?
Yes, this is for law enforcement, this is for a police
This is for
department, so.
Gregory City, if I remember.
This is right,
Not Gregory County.
this is for
And
the
that's-
police department.
That's what
There's a-
determined why we felt we needed it, a
Correct.
separate agreement.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Clunt, this did go through the committee that did approve doing this.
Is there a fee or?
There is no fee either way.
Basically, it was done for clarification because of the, being it's, you know,
We were already doing it probably. We needed it.
We were not doing it already,
We
so,
needed to get the blessing.
on the record, so,
We needed to get the blessing from the state and this.
yes. This
Do
is
we
the
have-
blessing from
Do we have other locations doing this as well?
just the Winter PD and this other agency now for number 2. Andrea does anticipate, yes, there will be a few more that will come down, and she's okay, but we will handle it the same way as this one, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I would ask Finance Officer Paul Jensen for his report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. A minor correction, the word interim goes on my title, if you would, sir.
Okay, sorry.
For tonight, I've just got 3 things to let you know about. First of all, we have, council probably would remember that there is a request that went out earlier this year on an advertisement seeking RFP for, I'm sorry, I was thinking about Mr. Mayor getting sick on me here, and I lost my train of thought, but auditing services that we put out an RFP request on to get proposals from qualified auditing companies and persons. The deadline for submission was last week, Thursday. We received 3 proposals. They've been received, been reviewed, and we'll be sharing them to start with the Finance Committee tomorrow. And after that point in time, I expect that we'll be scheduling interviews as the mayor and members of the council want to do that. Secondly, kind of a attaboy for the finance office and particularly the HR department. Due to the renewal credits, the lost credits, the claim score, and due to the fact that this year the city of Winter achieved platinum status with our workers' comp carrier, which we've been trying for a number of years to get. It's a big deal. We saved over $67,000 on our premiums this year because of it. So on behalf of myself and the others here, I did congratulate Rhonda for the great work that she's been doing. She not only, for the members of the public that don't know, not only is she the HR director, she's also the safety training director as well. And both of those are a big part and parcel to being able to get this score that she got and save that kind of money. So it's a good deal for the city. Finally,
About 30% of what we were paying. is-
around 30%. It's big.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to come in, our directors too, or, you know, or appointed for keeping the people in, you know, check and doing their parts too, because
bet.
without them, you know.
Very true.
it's- I mean, training only goes so far.
The other thing you'll recall, in the last meeting, you had a person who stood up here who happens to be well known to you. Her name is Chandra Phillips. And she talked to you about IM-28. I was asked on behalf of the, or from the folks at the Municipal League was asked to just remind members of this community and the members of this council the importance of sharing with the community. For those that haven't voted yet, please encourage people to vote no on IM 28. That is the initiated measure that, if passed, would result in no more sales tax on anything that is a consumable by humans, including gummies and tobacco and whatever else. It's huge. They figured the cost to the state would be over $600,000 of lost revenue. The cost to municipalities, and nobody broke it down by city or anything, but over $50 million would be lost to various municipalities. I don't think there was ever an opportunity for us in winter to come up with a real number on that. You can guesstimate it, because we were never really told exactly what kind of number broke out from sales tax as far as food, things like that. So what we do know is that it would be a significant enough hit to your budget that you probably wouldn't be seeing half of the projects going on that you have under your current system now. So I was encouraged to pass that on to everybody and ask that, encourage all of your folks that you know that haven't voted yet to, or encourage them to vote no on IM 28. Any questions? Thank you.
And just for clarification, is the voting taking place tomorrow?
Well, that's a great question. Tomorrow, I believe the local folks are voting out at the 4-H Center, and people that live out in the southwest part of the county are down at Clearfield, and the others I couldn't tell you. But the county auditor would know.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Jensen, interim finance officer.
Thank you.
Now we'll go to public hearings. We would need a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve public hearing on renewal applications for alcoholic beverage license of the on-sale liquor, off-sale liquor, and on-off-sale wine and cider businesses set forth the list attached to this agenda. So do I need to read the?
You do not. It's
business?
attached to your agenda if you have any questions after we get a second.
I mean,
Mr.
for the
Mayor.
public, though.
Mr. Mayor, I would second that if I could get Councilman Schuyler to read his motion one more time.
I'll forego your second.
I will second that, Mr. Mayor.
Maybe you know why I attached it.
The rules say that I get to read it one more time, Jeremy. So we have a motion by Schuyler, a second by Clay, to have a public hearing on renewal applications for alcoholic beverage licenses of the on-sale liquor, off-sale liquor, and on and off-sale wine and cider licenses set forth in the list attached to this agenda. Do we have anybody here? Oh, we need to vote first, nope.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yep.
as of this morning, all of these licensees have turned in the necessary documentation, and all of them have paid the fees. There's no holdbacks.
Do we vote before we ask for testimony?
No.
Okay, I have to ask for,
No,
does
you have-
anybody like to address the council on this issue? Good, seeing none, I would call the question. Shaheen,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
Miners,
Yes.
Clunt,
Yes.
Hughes,
Aye.
and Schuyler.
Aye.
That's how we like it, all ayes. This motion passes. So does that automatically make them all good?
It is.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Board of Adjustments, we have no adjustments to make. We'll move into old business. Item number 1, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the 911 contract for, it says 2024, but I believe it's 2024, 2025, Hacking County, and have the mayor sign this.
I'd second.
And Hughes second. And that is in fact 2025, that's correct, Mr. Miners. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, the only comment I would make is you saw that I had passed out an extra sheet on your table when we came in tonight, and that's because the mayor looked through the thing and realized that I had missed a page when we copied it, so that's the missing page. Otherwise, this contract is the same contract that you've approved for two other counties already.
Any other discussion, questions? Councilman Clay?
Yes.
Miners?
Yes.
Clun?
Yes.
Hughes?
Aye.
Schuyler?
Aye.
And Shaheen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go into new business. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to offer employment to Isabel Gilpin in the Corrections Department with a starting wage of, Mr. Jensen, $23.13, is this correct? $23.13 an hour, per hour, full-time with full benefits.
I'll second. Yep.
And Hughes second.
Jeremy, spell the last name.
Gilpin.
Isabelle.
I'm sorry, Isabella.
Hey, Isabella, okay.
But I wrote you
And 2313?
2313.
2313, which is 3 years worth of experience on top of our starting wage. Correct. Okay? That's where that number comes from. Any discussion on this hire? And we'll call the question. Miners?
Yes.
Clunt?
Yes.
Hughes?
Aye.
Schuyler?
Aye.
Shaheen?
Yes.
And Clay?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 2. At this time, I would like to appoint Harley Koenig as our finance officer with a starting salary of $68,000 per year, full-time with full benefits to start on November 18, 2024. We would need a motion to approve that appointment.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Miners, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? We'll have a vote with a roll call vote. Councilman Clun?
Yes.
Hughes?
Aye.
Schuyler?
Aye.
Shaheen?
Yes.
Clay?
Yes.
And Miners?
Yes.
All ayes, that motion carries. Item number 3.
Mr. Mayor, do we have to pause to swear her in?
Okay, we sure can.
Is that the right way to do it?
Well, it's either now or later, but it needs to be done.
Yeah, let's do
Somewhere I
it.
have that.
Good to do it now?
I hope so, 'cause I gave
I
it.
said, are you good to do it now?
Need me to go get another copy.
No, I'm not going to do it that way. Too many papers they have the old guy. I have it right here.
There you go.
Looks like an ordinance. Harley, if you would come over here, please.
You want to be up in front of the camera, Brad?
Oh, in
Right
front of the
up
camera, sure, okay.
All in technical
Glad I
terms.
put on a picture. We'll look this up, okay? The oath of office for city finance officer. Repeat after me. I, Harley King, having been appointed to the office of finance officer within the city of Winter, Trim County, South Dakota.
Smaller chunks, Brad.
Okay, a little bit left. Having been appointed to the office of finance officer. Okay. Okay, having been appointed to the office of finance officer within the city of Winter, Tripp County, South Dakota,
Tripp County, South Dakota,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and the ordinances of the City of Winter,
and the ordinances of the City of Winter,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform all the duties of the office of the Finance Officer.
perform all the duties of the office of the Finance Officer.
Very good. Welcome aboard. Okay. Okay, and item number 3, to set a special meeting date for the final end-of-year transfers and adjustments. I would like to recommend December 30th, a Monday night, 2024. Unless somebody has a real issue against that.
Will that give us enough time to get all things closed out? Paul?
I guess I would have a conflict.
Okay?
The second and the last Monday of every month is fire department meeting.
Oh, okay. Is there any reason why we have to do it with no days, working days left in the year?
Unless we,
No,
if we did it earlier in the
Could we not do
night.
this At our third Monday meeting?
Last year, we did it on a Thursday.
Okay.
say, you need to be
December
fairly close to the
28th.
end, because you're gonna have some things to close out.
Okay,
If we're transferring money to pay bills, we're gonna have to set it up so that we can get one last meeting in or 2 meetings in.
Yeah, because depending on how it's done, some of these will require an ordinance to do a special supplemental budget, thank you.
First and second reading.
So that requires the first and second reading, 2 meetings,
does require first and second?
does.
How do we do that?
We had it on December 28th last year.
Okay, that was
That's all
2
I
days
know.
before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Last year, we didn't have supplemental at the end, transfers.
Okay, that makes
Okay.
good sense.
But
It was just transferring balance and budget. It wasn't something.
I
Yeah.
don't know if we're in that situation this year.
So our regularly scheduled meetings would be the 2 and 16. Can we do those transfers on the 16?
So long,
You would
so
hope
long
that-
as we know what the budget's looking like, if we have to transfer money, I guess that'll be up to the finance officer.
We just
and the
hired a new
appointed-
one, we ought to give her a challenge to start out with, yep.
I don't know, it's up to you guys, but I mean, if we need a first and second reading, if we have any,
You're gonna wanna do first reading on December the 2nd, then.
Right.
and I guess if worst comes to worst, could we not postpone it to after the first of the year to do a supplemental in January?
You can, well, no, you need those done in November.
Close this calendar year.
If we're over budget and have to do a supplement.
So we've got a meeting to figure that out by the
You can
middle
schedule,
November meeting. We should know where
Yeah.
we're at,
yeah,
whether or not we're gonna have to, so we can table this until then. And
certainly.
I'd make a motion, we table it until the next meeting.
And a second?
I'll second.
Miners to table, and Shaheen is the second. All in favor, say aye. All
Aye.
opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries, that motion is tabled till the next meeting. Okay, claims, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to pay the claims as presented.
Motion by Skylar, second by
I'll second.
Hughes.
Before we vote, I have a question.
Okay, that's what this time is for, discussion.
Mayor, council, attorney, and fire are all blank, along with a couple of disbursement units. Is that because there was none?
We don't get paid till next week.
Yes, but like for attorney is kind of the biggest
I think he's listed further down, isn't he?
I have
payroll. I was looking at the
no
payroll.
information on that.
Number
I
40.
think that's how it is.
Sorry.
Is
I saw
that,
that later on, further
Okay.
down.
so it's based on not a full-time hire, is that correct? Contract, not an actual payroll. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, Councilman Schuyler, if you look, you'll see that happens quite often.
I've noticed.
Because our stipends don't coordinate with the city payroll schedule.
Correct. Yep.
Stipends. Do that. Any other questions? That's a good question, Councilman Schuyler. Any other questions? None? All in favor of paying the claims, please say aye.
Aye.
And those that don't want to pay them, say nay. Okay. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn
I'd
Mr.
make that motion to adjourn, Mr. Mayor.
by Councilman
I'll
Clay,
second that.
second by Schuyler. Good thing Schuyler came, we wouldn't have got a thing.
No, I wouldn't have got many motions.
Any discussion on adjourning? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome, Harley.
Yes,
And
welcome.
thank you, Rhonda Augsburger, for $57,000.
67.
67.
67,000. Nice savings. And Tim's right.